Everyone, and welcome to our basic English skills course. Today, we're going to start with the simple present tense. We're going to talk about the verb to be, and we're going to talk about WH questions in the simple present tense. So let's get started. And I want to begin by giving us a chance to get to know each other. When we want to get to know someone, we introduce ourselves. My name is Jay. What's your name? You can say, hello, my name is, and then you would say, I'm very pleased to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Is this your first class? You would say, no, it's my fifth class. Do you like it here? And hopefully you say, yes, I love it here. Now let's talk about the verb to be. When we use the verb to be in the simple present tense, we change it to I am, you are, he, she, or it is, we are, and they are. Now let's talk about yes/no questions with the verb to be. When we want to form yes/no questions, we put the form of the verb to be at the beginning of the sentence. Are you from New York? Yes, I am from New York. Since I'm asking about you, I'm going to use are. When I answer, I'm talking about I. I is the subject. So I say, I am from New York. Is he from California? Yes, he is from California. You can also say, no, I am not from New York. I am from California. When we want to form a negative sentence with the verb to be, we use the word not. I am not. You are not. He is not. So now let's talk about some WH questions with the verb to be. Where are you from? I am from New York. You can also say, I am from Myanmar, or you are from Myanmar. He or she is from Myanmar. We are from Myanmar. They are from Myanmar. Okay, now let's talk about more WH questions with the verb to be. What is your major? Your major is the subject that you study at university. My major is business. What is my major? What is your major? What is his or her major? What is our major? And what is their major? Here, the verb is. We don't change it because we're talking about the major. It, the subject is it, the major. These words, my, your, his or her, are, and their, are all used to talk about ownership. Whose major? My major. Your major. His major. Her major. Now let's talk about yes/no questions with to do. When we ask yes/no questions with the verb to do, we put the verb to do at the front of the question. Do you have a roommate? Do I have a roommate? Does he or she have a roommate? Do we have a roommate? And do they have a roommate? We can see here when we're talking about he or she, we change the verb from do to does. And we would answer by saying, yes, I do. I have a roommate. Or, no, I don't. I live alone. If you live alone, that means you don't live with anyone else. Or you can say, no, I don't. I live with my parents. Remember, when we're talking about he or she, we say, does he have a roommate? And when we answer, we also use does. We say, yes, he does have a roommate. Now let's go to our next question. Do you work part-time or full-time? Part-time means you only work a few hours a week. If you work full-time, that means you work a lot. You usually work 40 hours a week. You can say, I work part-time in a cafe. I work full-time. I'm a clerk in a convenience store. This is a convenience store. A convenience store is a place like 7-Eleven or Circle K. You can say, I'm a cashier in a bakery. Now let's go to more WH questions with to do. Where do you live? I live in a dormitory. A dormitory is a building where students live. It's on the campus of the school. This is a dormitory. You can say, I live in a studio. A studio is a small apartment with just one room. I live in an apartment. I live on campus, or I live off campus. If you live on campus, you live at the university. If you live off campus, you live away from the university. So let's remember, I live in a dormitory, you live in a dormitory, we live in a dormitory, they live in a dormitory, but he or she lives in a dormitory. With the third person singular, we want to remember to add that S. We don't say she live in a dormitory. Some other WH questions. Who is your teacher? Jay is my teacher. How do you spell that? You spell it Jay. What do you do on the weekends? I work part-time on the weekends. When is your first class? My first class is at 9 a.m. Where do you eat lunch? I eat lunch in the cafeteria. Why do you study English? I love English. When you ask who, you're asking about a person. When you ask how, you're asking for someone to tell you the way to do something. What do you do on the weekends? Here, I want to know what activities that person does. When I ask about when, I'm looking for a time or a day. Where, I'm looking for a place. And when I ask why, I'm looking for a reason. I'm looking for someone to tell me why they study English because they love it. So let's talk about a couple of new vocabulary words. Who do you meet at university? You might meet classmates, you might meet a roommate, or you might meet a teacher or a professor. You're probably going to get homework. Hopefully, you will graduate or finish university. And the semester is half of the school year. There's the spring semester and the fall semester. In America, college or university starts in the fall. In other parts of the world, it starts in the spring. You may need to talk about order. We probably know our numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. When we talk about order, we're talking about first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. This is really useful when we're talking about when we start school. Do you have any classes first period? No, I don't. I don't have any classes until third period. And some other useful expressions that you can use in your English class are, how do you spell? Can you say that again? Can you repeat that, please? Please speak slower. What does mean? What does dormitory mean? Or, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Okay, great job. Thank you for working so hard. And I'll see you in our next lesson of our basic English skills course here at the Language Arts Gallery.